If you are able, for a moment of silence.
May 18th,
and the mayor will lead us
2026.
in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
For all.
Mr. Jarrett. Karasinski is absent. Mr. Learn. Here. Mr. Lewis.
Here.
Moj is absent. Ms. Triani is running late. Mayor Burke.
Here.
Borough Manager.
Here.
Chief of Police. Here. Solicitor.
Here.
Engineer. DPW.
Here.
Reporter. Fire Chief.
Here.
Code Enforcement. Okay, review and approve the current agenda. Any additions or changes? Nope. I'd like a motion by Mr. Learn, second. Bob, all in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. Presentation. Go. Okay, we have no presentations. Citizens correspondence, personal appeals for agenda items only. Okay. Business not ready for action, the draft zoning ordinance.
Right, so, I skipped over, committees,
Oh,
sorry.
okay, reports of committees. Mayor Burke.
We've been meeting with some groups of people down the Washington Street area. Seems like our sponsors' problem has moved to St. Joseph's Church parking lot. They've called and complained several times. There's a problem neighborhood, and hopefully something happens with it where it comes together. They're still pointing to the same people from the park, which means they'll go back to the park when it opens up again, of course. But you just need to see people having that kind of a problem.
St. Joseph cameras.
I'm sorry?
The St. Joseph cameras?
They do. Reagan and I are meeting with the council and the interim pastor down there when they're available, and they'll give us a call, and I'll contact Reagan and we'll get together, and they're willing to cooperate 100%. They're worried about some of the older statues down there in the lot getting knocked over and broken.
Maybe we need to make an example of some before we get on cameras.
So, from the specific church issues, my understanding is the assets have gone down, and so far, nothing has actively been damaged, it's more than being damaged.
Exactly.
No, but then, at the same time, the guys are trying to weigh the grass lot that was just north of it, there's a call of paper that's facing the grass lot, the officers drove by it, it's a group of 22. So again, the officers are trying to weigh is that a spot they're supposed to be? No, is there adequate signage that says they should be there? Yeah, as well, but then officers are going, but it's kids between the age of 8 and 12 playing two-hand touch, like trying to find that fine line.
What is St. Joseph plan? Obviously not.
They said one of the kids threatened them. They asked him to leave. The kids start cursing, yelling, screaming. Their biggest concern is the fact of the kids are not listening when they say, "It's posted. You can't be here. Please leave. We don't want you on church property." And they're just, hanging out there. So it'll be dealt with. It's coming up. I said we're going to meet with them, and they said whatever we need, we can have their footage. We can have, however, whoever, whatever. And I also told them, please pick up the phone and call when they're here, because we need to see it to be able to do something about it. But I really think that needs to be addressed, because it's going to wind up back in Sponsors Park. As soon as the park reopens, it's going right back across the street. Thank you.
Okay. Engineer, you don't have one? Attorney Kemper?
Nothing.
Okay. Personnel Committee? Legal Finance? Parks, Recreation?
So Jack, you were in with Brendan today. How did that go? So we are moving forward with cameras.
dug the trenches for the electrical, installed some electrical in the stage, just to get it to the point where we can start installing some of the camera and the internet stuff. We're able to secure a retired traffic signal cabinet from our contractor. They donated it to us for a cause, so that was nice. We installed that in the stage, so that's gonna be lockable, so that'll be a nice secure place where we can put the DVR and all the internet modem and whatnot. So we have a plan. We're gonna start installing the cameras over the next week. Unfortunately, right now, the only time that our IT group has to come and actually set it up once we have it installed is the first week in June. It looks like it's gonna be the 3rd. So the 4th is our concert, the first concert there, so we wanna have the park opened up, and we need some, told them we need some time to be able to get it cleaned up and ready to go for that opening, so hopefully we can get that process taken care of on the 3rd, and the camera should be up and running on the 4th. Is our goal.
We have an agreement in place with Comcast as far as getting internet run down there. I tried to get quotes from both Comcast and Breeze Line. Breeze Line to date still has not gotten back with the number, so I finally had to just say, you know what, we're just going with what we got, and it'll be Comcast internet run to make the whole system work there.
Did the camera bid go out for bids?
No, so the camera, so when we had that conversation, the direction was, this needs to happen in a hurry. Reach out to our IT, who'd also done our camera system down at, Test Track, and get a number, so that's what.
I
Greg
got a
and I
call
did.
from a technology company that does a lot of police departments here, and said they probably could have done that at the half price.
I don't think you were in that meeting, but
I was here.
I don't think that they, without them looking at the itemized things that we got, I think it's difficult to make an accurate
I think he
assessment.
knows exactly what we're getting. I think he talked to the IT guy who's doing it. That's his business, he does that. But, I mean, just as
It's interesting
future,
that they would share what our quote was, but, okay.
he's got a copy of the quote he showed me.
It's not on our end, I mean, so.
They work together on a lot of
It wasn't full,
different
it was,
things together.
they were 10 cameras. and
You could give us a call too. Yeah.
I mean, it
He
wasn't
didn't know it was going
definitely,
out. He didn't know it was going out till he seen it in the paper that said it was being done.
I mean, there was an article 2 weeks prior saying that we were gonna be considering
Yeah.
cameras, so it's one of those things where it's, anybody can come out to the fact and say, well, I could've done it cheaper, and it's one of those things where had we put it out to bid, could we have saved a little bit, maybe, but it also would have added 2 months on the project, and it's a lot. I mean, I'm not saying that it was absolutely the best decision, I mean, it was the decision we made, and it's going to get that park open in a timely manner, and the cameras, we know the system already operates and has been effective at Test Track, if you
I was
don't
gonna
remember.
say, we have a stamp, the quality of their work, and that they did the work at, the Test Track, and that's been operational, and we haven't had any problems with that.
It's
for a
been-
long time.
Yeah, it's gonna be integrated basically just the same way our other security system is, the same software. So
All in one
it'll
system.
be pretty seamless once it's.
I don't know if you remember, but if you go back 3-4 years, the conversations we were having was, why the heck did we put those bathrooms in the Test Track? We're never gonna have them open, they're gonna be a disaster for forever. Knock on wood. So again, it's really easy to focus on the negative. There's a lot of negative to focus on right now, but I remain hopeful that we're gonna get this problem taken care of. I know that Reagan and the police have been working hard at it, and I think we're gonna get this problem squared away, and that park is gonna be a great place for kids and families to be for years and years to come. It's unfortunate there's a few bad actors, but we're gonna make it work.
Emergency management? Streets, parks, buildings?
Yeah, I just wanna discuss, I was in my report about recycling and the change in the process that we've made. And, I think the majority of the people that come to our recycling center and put recycling out at curbside, they do a good job. They keep their recycling clean. It's the appropriate recycling. But as soon as we turn our back, somebody comes in with something that's contaminated. And it happens every week, for the last, year at least. So we decided that we had to slow the process down. We need to keep an eye on each individual that's coming into the recycling center, educate while we're there, make sure that they understand what our expectations are and what the landfill's expectations are of what can be recycled. The recyclables that we generally take over are clean because our guys are picking through the dumpsters before they're loading it into the truck. And even as they're loading it in the truck, they have a rake and a picker that they're picking contaminated things out. 6 to 8, sometimes 10 garbage bag full of contaminated recycling.
Is that from what people are taking to the test?
So when we open the gate at the recycling center and just allow people to come in and dump into those recycling cans, it wasn't necessarily all the appropriate stuff. And like I said, 90% is good, but if you have one individual that dumps contaminated, cigarette butts. It's just, insane.
I do curbside. I used to take stuff down. It was just, you guys pick up bottles now. So. But anyway, last recycling, I put out a roundup thing, and you guys didn't take it, that's fine. Right. But I didn't know.
Right. Yeah, and that's, if it's just one item, our guys will usually take the bin, but if it's the whole,
No, it was just
you know
one
what I
I just
mean?
left at the bin. Put it in the trash and all my life.
I tell them, we need to continue to keep moving. If you could just put that one item aside, throw the rest of the good recycling in the truck, that's fine. But what's happening at the recycling center, once it goes in that can, it's a lot more difficult to get out.
And it belongs to us.
Yeah, exactly. And what we found is, a lot of people were telling us, we got rid of our trash hole. We're trying to recycle as much as we can, and that's great, except for some of the items that they're trying to recycle aren't recyclable, or they're contaminated, so we really slowed the process down. So if you guys heard anything about that, I know we've gotten some complaints at City Hall, got some phone calls, people weren't happy, because it slowed the process down, and they were displeased, and it was intentional. We intentionally slowed the process down, just to be able to educate, so we're gonna do that until we feel like, we're confident that, all the recycling coming through is, clean and appropriate, and then we'll open it back up again, and when we feel we can trust.
Just so everyone understands, if something gets to the ultimate drop off site and is deemed to be contaminated, they can force it on to the standard trash landfill, which
Yeah, I was gonna
has
ask what happened.
a financial component that's about twice as expensive per ton, and they're not gonna pick out and say, well, no, this one piece, it's that whole truck is
It's
going
the
over
whole
there.
thing, yeah.
So there's a financial component to it, and there's also the environmental component to it, that defeats the purpose of recycling if it all just goes over the landfill, so.
Because all the good recycling would end up in the landfill instead of where it should be.
So we're definitely motivated for both of those reasons to get things moving in the right direction. And I can assure you the last thing our guys want to do is down there and watch one car at a time unload, but it's going to get moved a little bit.
Right. Yeah. That's something we want to do. But the way we're doing it though, we're not using any more labor. So it's not costing the borough anymore to do it this way. It is taking a little more time. The other option would be to put, 8 of our guys down there and keep an eye on all the dumpsters, but that's not realistic, so this is the way we've done it. And, just wanna let you know, and, so you guys can get some of the questions that, that's exactly the reason. Not a forever thing. If we can clean it up, we'll go back to, standard procedure, and hopefully that happens soon. So thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Safety? Great.
Everybody has a copy of my April monthly report. That's about it.
Okay. Chief Kugel?
Yeah, I handed out, it's a sketch that Dave Dietrich, Rescue Chief, did. We went down there the other week, down to the test track. This is where we're looking to propose to put some type of training center. What we're looking to do right now, basically where you enter to come back by the incinerator, that big open area there is all piles of millings, which I didn't know until I just found out that Jack says they're there, they use them. What we originally talked about was leveling that to bring the ground up and pack them. And we'd also like to, that goes out to that one road going down there, that's the actual interceptor road that goes down to the Mercer Street interceptor. For those that was familiar with the homeless encampment last year, that's where the big area was down in there. But, from where the open parking lot there is now at the Millings to the walking trail, it's more just brush, and there's a couple smaller trees, dead trees. We'd like to look to clean that up, so basically the walking trail, there is nothing hiding visual sight back to that anymore. To put a container in there and start actually building somewhat of a fire training place that we can start doing training inside. But now with the Millings there, I don't know, because that's Jack's stockpile Millings, where I didn't know you guys used them. I thought they just came generated from different projects. Well, that'd be something too. I don't wanna take Jack's Millings away. If we had somewhere else we could put them, or even make them around the outer edge of it instead of being the whole lot.
What's the, let me ask, what's the container?
Right now, Jack, yeah, I don't know.
What do they use for?
Yeah, I don't know what right now we're looking at the one container, just to use for training, basically.
It's just equipment?
No, it's just gonna be a big metal container, like a Sealand container.
Right.
With the metal floor in it, and what we use that for is, we cut a hole in the back of it, and you can actually, and you put a wall in there, you build a fire in the front part of it, and smoke and stuff actually generates. It's more of a training facility, and we can actually have a fire in there, put a barrel in there with some straw and stuff. Not pushing people in there to actually hit the fire, but basically to get, it's just early.
Fireworks.
Yeah, early stages of it. There's a company that I know Relief's looking at. It is the same sea containers, but you buy them and they're all stacked in different ways to where you can do confined space. There's all kinds of training you can do with these. But right now, as we said, we're just trying to crawl before we get up and walk here. But we're just trying to develop that area into, we thought about removing that brush and stuff. That would not be anything the borough would be responsible for. We would take care of that, and we have, some people that we know would help us
Yeah,
with the equipment.
And if you look at this drawing, on the right-hand side of the incinerator, there's a decent sized flat area up on top there.
Right,
And I don't know if any of that area could be used for that same purpose.
yeah,
I mean, I know that there would need to be a walkway created or whatever,
Right.
which is possible.
right,
That's where originally when the incinerator was running, that's where it was loaded.
right.
So the trash would come into there, and then they push it down through the chute. But I wanna make sure that you understand that building is falling in.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I know that council has talked about, their CDG money and stuff, possibly getting that demo, finding this and that, and go from there. But, I mean, I'd be willing to look at that land up on the other side, as long as we can make an access road up onto that higher ground, so we have a place to pull
Absolutely.
a fire apparatus up in there. I mean, there's a lot of room down there for growth to do things, it's just
Right.
figuring out working with views, the borough, and everything else. Excuse me, looking back through the records, 2011, that area did not flood. Right there where was high and dry, that's a steep bank down to the river.
It is.
What, the other is marked EVRA.
I don't know what he's got that I have no idea I don't know what that little thing there, DVR, I don't know what that represents, I don't know. I don't know what that actually is. Jerry?
What Jack's saying, Jack, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
We flip-flop this,
Yes.
especially with the incinerator.
Right, the one thing is, keep in mind that this area on the right-hand side of that incinerator is elevated. It's another story high, so we would need to build a small road to get up onto there, but I think it's doable.
Jack, are you looking at it from the riverside?
Yeah, if you're looking at it, river is,
Right here.
towards you.
Okay.
Yeah.
the incinerators here, Rummel's Lane. Right now, we bring millings in off of Rummel's Lane back in, and there's probably, I don't know, 100 piles back there right now.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
only,
at least.
yeah.
That's where we store those. They're gonna be used for walking trails and road edges and all sorts of.
So we can actually look at using the same entrance, Jack, going back in, because we're eventually looking to put, a gate, you know, like a gate there, so people can't just be driving back in there and stuff, but, so we can use the same entrance, instead of going back into your milling pile, we can branch off, when you'd be coming in, and you're going to the left, we'd have a road going up into that flat surface up in there.
Yeah, right down at the end of Warren Street.
Yeah,
You come off of Warren Street,
Yeah.
there's an area there, it's all grown up with, Japanese knotweed right now.
yeah,
But there is a road that used to go right up to the incinerator.
yeah, Oh, okay.
So if you go straight ahead,
Yeah.
right now it's a bank because we pushed it back.
right,
But
okay.
it's highly possible that we could
So there's room for.
resurrect that road and maybe get you up there where
Yeah.
you can keep
Yeah.
that. I mean, that's an area that you could literally
Yeah.
fence off if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's what our eventual goal is, to work with that
We'll have to look at it.
down, yeah, okay. But that's what we're working on.
And Jack, the other road where it's a turnaround area, that's not an issue, that's the line you're going.
No, that's the Mercer Street outfall. So when they did the stormwater project that comes down Mercer Street from the Eagles, that's really like a 48-inch pipe, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Comes down through there, and that was just left in there. From doing that project, the turnaround area is where they worked at the end of that, but the sewer authority uses that for their inspection site,
Right.
so they can inspect that stormwater.
We do that once a month,
Yeah.
that's right on our sheet, we actually, whoever's out that day, they gotta go down, we don't drive down in there, we usually
Right.
park and walk down in, but that's the inspection site, and you have to check the outfall to make sure there's no debris or anything laying there and stuff, but yeah, so.
Yeah, so that has to stay open.
Right.
But I'm saying, it says drafting site, like you're saying that's where you guys will go down there?
Yeah, we'd actually, yeah,
Well,
draft.
you can still do that,
We can
right?
still
Oh,
do
yeah.
that, yeah.
That has nothing to do with going to.
Right.
No.
Right.
You do that currently sometimes, don't you, or at least you have.
Well, we had down, we usually go to the tester, down to the boat launch, but on down from the boat launch, there's another road that goes down in. We actually developed that, God, I can't even tell you how many years ago. But we were actually doing that, and we had some huge Jack and them was putting millings down in there and stuff, but we used that for drafting, so we weren't tying, that was before the boat got enlarged and.
Yeah, the problem with that one was is that every time the water comes up, it would bring silt down to cover up that ramp. So then we continually, every time the river goes down, we have to go down and clean it out. We're already cleaning the boat ramp out, and that's paved. So it makes more sense for them to use the paved surface than it is to use a stone surface. So that one down there hasn't been maintained for quite some time.
Yeah, there's plenty down there, we can work, I'll get with you and we'll get Dave and stuff, and council will bring it back with a good drawing.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if we need to move milling piles, I guess we can.
Hell,
But
I don't wanna
I'd like to
hurt
work around it.
Right.
Because it keeps them out of the site, it's park, so I
Yeah.
don't want to move somewhere else
Yeah.
on park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. So, all right, that's all I have, I guess, chief says I gotta call Mark. Mr.
Yeah, you should be getting paid in a second.
And then the auditor report?
The only thing I have to say about that is Gloria was.
Yellow,
out
go on.
today. I usually take my notes to her to proofread before I actually make copies of it to you. So if I find that something was printed there for you, with the same direct out, be sure to have it.
Okay, so now
Everything's okay.
business not ready for action.
Now, yep.
Okay, the draft zoning ordinance.
All right, so you all got a lot of pages of things sent out to you, last week. Like I said, the big discussion is in 2 weeks when, Shannon Wheelstone is here to go through, and after that meeting, we'll be ready to advertise for comment. The first.
It's, okay, separate.
Is that right? I'm saying it.
No, I didn't say
Yeah,
Friday.
it's the first, yeah.
What's the case? I would never make it to that meeting. I'm just wondering.
You'll get the notes like that. But we can start having this a conversation now, so we are more prepared to have this. Anything we have kind of, when she's here, it's probably gonna be a long conversation. Do you wanna use up some of that and have some conversation right now when you get to her, or do you wanna wait until she's here and go through it all then? Jerry, whatever you.
Yeah, just like, okay, so family,
Let me see a page number.
18? Not in excess of 4, and not in excess of 7.
I believe that's 4 unregulated.
I'll get up with you, Jack. So we'll go from there.
Related by blood is.
We're no more than 4 persons, so, sorry, I forgot to explain. So it's, a family is any number of persons related by blood, marriage, legal guardianship, license, reported appointed foster care, legal adoption, any domestics. This is a little definition, I mean, or no more than 4 persons who are not related by blood. So,
Okay.
as if it's, or, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So, it,
I wanted that clarification on that one.
what it essentially does by putting it forward, it kind of differentiates between, we're not just kind of taking approval.
Okay.
That's why that number is there. You can see you can have 4 totally unrelated roommates who live in a 4-bedroom house or whatever, and you're fine, but at some point there kind of has to be a little bit of limit there. Giving me page numbers as you go through that helps me quite a bit.
I could just leave this with you.
How about you and I plan to sit down and chat equally
Prior,
at
yeah.
time, just
Okay.
so that I can make sure your stuff is addressed. Is there anything that anybody else wants me to have a definite, better answer to? Because the other thing of it is too, when she gets here, if you ask questions, there's not 100% guarantee that right in the moment you'll be able to spitball that answer. So again, I know Bob, you got a few things to me this morning. Was there anything you got to give me the 2 emails today?
No, congratulations.
And I appreciate all of those things. My first read through, I probably had about 100 little tabs on here going through, and some were questions, and some were corrections, and some were just general comments, but there were, I missed some, so.
We have a problem because Teresa is at graduation that night too.
Okay,
Tom possibly.
Tom told me to be here,
Oh,
but
he's gonna miss graduation.
he is confirmed he will be. So,
Okay.
let's pause and talk on that.
Sure.
At the end of the day, we want to keep this moving.
Sure.
If that means, and I know that's the meeting that I have confirmed on her schedule for her to be here.
I don't care, you can go on without me, I'll make sure in the notes, but
Can we schedule a time for you and I to go through this whole thing and make sure that I want your input to be considered?
Yes.
So, okay.
Yes, okay.
Perfect. Well, before we leave, both the, let's get a time, let's get a time on the
Yeah.
calendar, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
yeah.
And then beyond that, the other piece was the map. I can't bring it down to 7.
Yeah.
I made mine real. I made mine 4 pages and.
Probably a data center taking over the whole fucking town. Sorry, we're having it domain in all of Berwick, Borough. You gotta
Go,
move.
go.
Because,
So-
because we can't have that movie, because of pause in
Okay, so there's a few things that we're looking to accomplish here, and there actually aren't a lot of totally drastic changes to things. There were a few spots where things shift. If you look in the very northwest corner of the map, that got tidied up. You can see on the map over there that it's a hodgepodge of almost every zone we have, and on the map it's cleaned up a good bit to be general commercial space. A little bit of stuff in the very southeast corner of the map. This is down at the train station space, making that a commercial space to allow them to do what they're doing at the train station, while also still respecting what the Deckers has historically done there with the industrial part of it. The big thing is what we're looking at with residential zoning districts. So currently, we have 3 types of residential districts, 1, 2, and 3. And while this isn't exactly it, the simplest thing to think of is an R1, it's 1-family homes, and in R2, you're allowed 2-family homes, and R3, you're allowed 3 and up family homes. One of the big things we talked about here was trying to find ways to allow for housing. The proposed piece here is moving from 3 to only 2 residential zones, RA, which is our low density, and RB, which is our higher density. So RA is looking at single and double family homes with some bigger lot sizes required, still not quite as big as they are currently, but still larger lot sizes required. And RB, the high density, is allowing those multi-family homes in addition to single and 2 family and some smaller lot sizes. I believe it's 5,500 for the low density and 4,000 square feet for the higher density. Additionally, and if you look on the map, R2 and R3 are the most. So it's limiting, complicating factors. It's eliminating an unnecessary zone as we're looking at doing these things. And in addition to everything, you know, there's still going to be some parking requirements. There's still off-street parking requirements. There's still going to be X amount of lot space per unit requirements. There's still going to be setbacks. Like, just because you can now put a 3-family home on what used to be 2-family and 1 or 2 family, doesn't mean you can just throw something on there. We're not looking to infringe on what people have historically done, but we are trying to ease up that housing crunch. And again, there are other things that we're doing to look at that. One of the biggest ones being in-law suites or whatever, accessory dwelling units, allowing them by right. Now, the piece that we touched on there was for you to have them, the property owner must reside in either the primary residence or that ADU. So it can't be just a way to throw an extra apartment on what's already around a lot. But that's one of the big changes that we're looking at making. And then in the RB zone, we are allowing a lot more neighborhood level commercial type things. You know, we talked about the corner stores, the pizza place, or the salon or barber shop, or we had that list that we went through that in a decent bit 4 weeks ago. But again, trying to be friendly to development, specifically looking more at small business, to look at things like that. Lower impact businesses. Again, there are going to be, you know, I'm going to use the pizza shop on Wyandotte as an example there that was not allowed by right. And does it have a little bit of traffic from time to time? Sure. But is there any reason why that we had that? I bring it up because we had a discussion about allowing it there somewhat recently. Is there any reason why that's not appropriate for a residential neighborhood? I really don't think so, and that was what we were looking at as we brought this up. You know, obviously on our Route 11 corridor, that tends to cater more towards larger businesses. It's going to produce higher rents. It's going to be harder for smaller businesses to afford that. Having more space for those smaller neighborhood level businesses to thrive and have options is going to be a big thing. And one other thing that we're allowing generally by right with those is previously the only spot where you were allowed to have lower floor commercial, upper floor residential, where the owner of the business did not live upstairs, it's the C3A, which if you can't find it, it's because it's one really small thing towards the bottom of the right that's barely anything. It's roughly, it's right around Market Street, a block or 2 in either direction, maybe going from 4th up to 7th or so. So not much. Again, they've been there for forever.
Okay.
And it was hard if somebody wanted to put a new one in, it was very difficult to do so, because by right, they weren't allowed to. Downtown's a little bit of a special thing too, because parking, but still, the general thing is looking to be, we should be looking for reasons to say yes, not reasons to say no.
Sure.
That is, and obviously that is not across the board. I want to be very, very clear on that. There are certain businesses or certain uses that we're not rolling out the red carpet for. I'm going to say, because I know the recording's back there, I know she cares, data centers are a big one. There is multiple pages in here spelling out what has to, all the requirements that have to be met for a data center being by conditional use only, and it's hitting all the environmental factors and the financial factors and the noise factors and a lot of other factors. So that is certainly something that's going to be addressed. That is not something we want to automatically say yes to. Mobile home parks are one, manufactured home parks are our communities, they exist, there's a need for them. We don't want the community excessive amounts of manufactured home communities. Manufactured homes, absolutely, on individual lots are perfectly fine. So there's rules in for that. The old sin businesses, right, the strip clubs, there's rules for that. So yeah, there's a lot to it, and that's why this document is 180 pages, because it's not as simple as just saying, you can put a house here and a pizza shop there and call it a day.
When Shannon, before Shannon, is it possible to get like an executive summary of what,
Sure.
you have a job?
Sure, I will, this is a very, very high summary, so a little more than that, I think. I will work on that case off the red line on the highlighted version.
I think it might start some more conversation.
Sure.
Get it before, like you said, council stuff on Friday.
Just please know that none of this is being done haphazardly.
No,
I know you're not saying that it is, but like, there's been a lot of time and a lot of headaches, and my eyes were crossed on a few occasions. But we are, yes, it absolutely is, and we are trying to get it right. Like I said, I appreciate, Bob got me a few things today that were things that I missed on my read-throughs, and relatively small, but still we want consistency throughout. We want to make sure that what's on paper is matching what the expectations are for how it's used moving forward. So, yeah, and the last thing we want to do is leave little loopholes that let things happen that's not what we want. So,
Quite frankly, that's all we're paying, that's what we want.
absolutely.
Make sure there's loopholes.
100%. And, yeah, so no, I will work on a little more in-depth of a summary as far as, more line by line type thing where the changes happened, and I will get that out to you. I'll try to make sure I have that out to you within, at least it'll be by next Monday or Tuesday to, give you about a solid week to get through it before Shannon's here.
I was gonna say, if you go through the draft proposal, all the changes are highlighted.
But even there, sometimes it's like, oh, then you're cross-referencing what the used to be, and I get it. I mean, I'm the one who's hated this full time, so if I can make it a little bit easier to digest, I certainly
But
will.
if there's a section that you, like manufactured housing, okay, you can go and read that section and see all the highlighted changes. That's not gonna take you an hour, it's gonna take you 15 minutes, so you hit the sections that concern you the most.
What concern me is to make sure that every now and then it allows for the proper kind of development of its work.
Agreed.
It's not a roadblock if people try to do something. Right now, quite frankly, I think a lot of those zoning is a roadblock.
Yes. Not all, but unless it's some.
That's big picture stuff, I mean, that's 30,000 foot.
All through it, it's all highlighted.
Anything else to say on that right now? Or if you'd like.
Okay. The consent agenda. Is there anything that you would like to remove from the consent agenda? Are you okay to vote on it as is? I'll entertain a motion to.
Motion.
I have a motion by Bob Lewis. Is there a second?
Sure.
Mr. Leonard, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So the consent agenda passes. New business. Consider and take action to authorize Borough Manager to finalize agreement with Berwick Historical Society whereby Berwick Borough will transfer ownership of Jackson Mansion, 344 North Market Street in Berwick to the Berwick Historical Society. In addition to a contribution in the amount of $553,209.43 for the purpose of completing deferred exterior maintenance items. Which, those monies.
So a couple things. One, where those monies are from, 500,000 of that is what came from the American Rescue Plan dollars originally that was set aside specifically for whatever the roof ended up costing. The 53,000 and change was insurance money for the roof and that hailstorm that came through 2 years ago now. Why are we doing this? Because any exterior or structural repairs are contractually the responsibility of the borough. The question from Tom was, well, why can't we just give it to them and not worry about it? Well, because that's not how real estate transactions work, and you can't make someone take your house from you without them wanting it, and they're not taking it without things that are our responsibility being addressed. Am I saying that that $553,000 is 100% the exact amount of what's gonna cost? No, I am not, but the other thing to remember is that as long as we own the building, we are responsible for any exterior or structural repairs for into perpetuity. The roof specifically, I mean, the numbers that we have from a local contractor are roughly $250,000 for shingle roof, roughly $450,000 for the artificial slate roof. Shingle roofs, I mean, we know that's a 25, 30-year lifespan before we're looking at doing it again, which again would be the borough's responsibility if we hold on to it. The slate roof, fake slate roof, I think they say about 100 years on those. I, regardless, don't plan to be here to be worrying about that if that's the route that goes. But you know, there's repairs to the porch, there's repairs to windows, there's repointing work. There's a lot of things that add up quickly. And then there's the fact, again, like I said, one, that we'd be responsible for anything that hasn't happened yet. Two, we do pay annually thousands of dollars to insure that building. Three, there is all of the grounds maintenance, the trash, the lawn, the snow, the little bits and pieces of things that add up as well.
And is it in that contract that, I mean, I know that this normally would never happen, but they would call time something, or it would go back to the borough?
That's what we're gonna, so what's gonna happen, assuming we get a yes vote here, is that we're gonna find, there's not a finalized agreement. It's just pretty much telling me like, yep, go back, it's worth your time to get this drawn up. We're gonna get it drawn up, there'll also be a final vote on an actual final agreement to transfer the property. But this is just kind of making it pretty official, like, yeah, we are moving forward with this, it's time to get that rolling. And you know, things like if we do the roof, we have to pay, prevailing wage, thank you. And so those quotes that I gave you were based off of consumer prices, not government prices, because you know government rules require that we spend more for labor than anybody else would. So that $250 could easily be $300,000 for the exact same project. So there's a lot of reasons. Again, am I guaranteeing it's a day one savings of $553, $209.43? No, I'm not. But lifetime, I promise you, it's the right choice.
And we don't pay the insurance when it's transferred?
Once it's transferred,
We do no mowing, no snow removal?
No mowing, no snow removal.
No maintenance at
insurance,
all.
No maintenance whatsoever. I will say, the one last piece that Jack has agreed to do is that he will lift that Statue of Liberty, move it from right inside the fence to right outside the fence. I want to be very clear, we did agree. Jack decided he had it in his heart to move Lady Liberty one more time. That means he never has to mow there again, so be it.
I motion to,
Yeah, we have a motion on the floor, a second by Jay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So the motion passes. Mr. Mayor has just handed me a check for the donation for the cancer sponsors park.
Thank you, Mayor Brophy, appreciate that.
Thanks, Mark.
I appreciate you waiting until we voted to make sure they were gonna let you.
That's exactly what I waited for, yeah.
I heard a rumor they weren't gonna accept it from you.
Dina.
Thank you.
I wonder what Tom's 1,500 is, since he wanted me to pay the whole thing.
I'm not getting into all that one. We'll let you two, hammer that one out later.
We don't have any added items. Okay, so citizen correspondence, personal appeals, non-agenda items.
Doug Smith from Garden Avenue, question first. 2 weeks ago, they said there was a hearing coming up this week with the trailer park. Somebody said something, I thought I heard the 20th, but I may have not heard that correctly. I
So.
was just wondering if it's still there?
It's not still, it got continued, and I apologize, sometimes those things are out of our control. Offhand, I don't remember the date that it got continued to. It's definitely into June, unfortunately. If you give us a call tomorrow, we'll make sure we get you the dates. I know you're interested. I apologize. I don't remember what the date is.
Well, if it's in June,
If it's in June, it will be, because June 1st is our next meeting, so it's not the 1st. But I can make sure, I'll leave myself a note to make sure I have that date for you.
I'm sorry, I'm not getting it.
I'll make myself a note to make sure for our June 1st meeting, I have that date with me, so I can.
Okay,
get you.
okay, that'd be good, yeah, okay. And I just wanna address the rats again. it's been since last July is when I've been seeing them. And what I Googled today again, it said when you find a nest, you find where rats are nesting, you gotta do it immediately. 10 months isn't immediately. For the amount of rats that they could produce in that amount of time is a lot. If you Google, you can see it, it's a lot. And they're there. I was just told, I think it was Friday, that one of the people was walking by the one trailer that denies the fact that there is any. And they seen something move and they looked and there was one running across the inside of the windowsill. That was just on Friday.
So I know going from winter to summer has happened very suddenly here in northeast Pennsylvania, so it's definitely the season where rats are starting to scurry more. I will, I'll send one of our code officers down, not probably tomorrow, but this week to try and spend a little bit of time there to see if they can catch a sighting of a rat, at least just have a little bit of extra evidence on it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with 117 being condemned, and I heard the power shut off now, not only the water, but the power also. Exactly what happens to that will go home if those young people gonna decide not to move back and just get rid of it. What happens to that mobile home? Does it have to be inspected, or can it be just transferred to somebody else to move in there?
You're talking one that's condemned?
Yes, 117.
So, as per our ordinance, when a property is condemned, the only way that we remove the tag is to do a full inspection to make sure that there is no reason remaining for condemnation. If a property remains condemned for long enough, we can ultimately add it to our demolition list and get rid of it that way. As part of our updates to zoning, there will be some stricter requirements for mobile homes, manufactured homes, as far as what can come in there next. And listen, if they meet the requirement to get it all the way up to code, I think that would be a good thing, right? So somebody could ultimately end up back in there. Am I betting on it? I'm not, but I'm not telling you it's impossible. They would have to bring it back up fully to code once it's condemned. So
That's gonna be very difficult from what I've seen.
I generally agree with
It was
you.
before the pandemic when I seen it, and inside, and, it was not good.
I generally agree with you. It's not an easy, if it's reached, I mean, there are some homes that have a very specific issue that causes the condemnation. But when it's more of an across the board, there's a problem here, yeah, it's pretty hard to get to the point where we're able to safely remove that tag, so.
Does it matter whether it's a rental or privately owned?
From that, no, it does not.
It doesn't
If
matter.
it was, so if it was a rental, it would then still be, it would require the interior inspections moving forward. If it's privately owned, it's only exterior inspection that we are able to do. So that part makes a difference, but as far as requirements to remove condemnation, no, it does not make a difference if it's rental or privately owned.
I don't know the inside, but I heard the young kids that originally bought it, and they own it from Berlin. Whether they got a title to it, I don't know, you know, how that went.
Yeah,
with them.
we've run some situations where the titles, they don't exist in some cases, it gets messy. and
Yeah.
It's one of the many things that our folks are trying to deal with that makes it harder when, these mobile homes, it's like they're kind of homes, they're kind of vehicles, and it's just a mess.
Yeah, okay. And just one quick comment, was in the paper in 30 seconds about using the trails down at boat dock area for EV bikes. And open it up, and the editor kind of thinks that's a great idea, but when you're walking on a trail and some nut behind you on an EV bike, you don't know.
For what it's worth, I agree with that.
You do not hear them.
That's
There's-
not an appropriate place for anybody.
There's a lot of good people, there's a lot of small kids, but there's some well, I'll say it like this, there's some young people like me when I was young.
We're like you now.
Some of the portions of that trail are a little bit narrow with a pretty steep drop to the
Yeah.
river. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a safe, the trail specifically is not a safe spot for e-bikes, I agree with you.
Yeah, but when I read that, my wife read that, she goes, oh no, she says, we don't need that, but I just wanted to know that we're not in favor of it.
I very much agree with you.
Thank you.
What was that,
What's the
Nelson?
address of the trailer?
I'm sorry.
What's the address of that trailer?
Which, the one that's condemned?
Yeah.
117
Oh.
Yeah, and 119's the guy, it denies the fact that it's there, he don't own it, she owns it. And according to Nicole, he's the one that's got the citation, not him. He's the one throwing the stuff out there and just keeps unloading it and unloading it. And as soon as everybody's done and turns their back, it's gonna be like this again, just like it was for the past 3-4 years. And that's, according to Google, that's not good for action either, so. But I wanna be nice, and I don't wanna see nobody lose a place to live, and I know everybody needs a place, everybody needs a place.
We try to, we really, like, the condemning is not our go-to. We don't want, we hate when we have to do it, because I agree with you, people need a place, but we also have to uphold those standards, so I agree.
Mrs. Fish, she was really nice, she was going to the yard and keeping it cleaned up for them while they're not there, and, so, yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Anybody else care to talk to us? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Jay, second.
Sorry.